Hi guys, in today's SAT prep session, we're going to be going over a reading passage. There isn't a science section of the SAT. Science and social sciences are all covered in the reading portion of the SAT. So we're going to talk about that. First and foremost, in USA Test Prep under the SAT reading assignment group, you should be 16 activities in. So yesterday you should have completed this activity on the screen, the performance task. You guys are almost done with SAT reading. It will be done on next week. I think it's next week, November 4th. Yeah. If you are a little bit behind, that's okay. You still have time to work on them. There's not a ton of activities. And if you started really late in the semester, once 11/4 is upon us, then I'll be emailing kids and talking to them on a case-by-case basis about how to get caught up. So just keep that in mind. So the science passages, like I said, they're in the reading portion of the SAT. It's analysis in history, social studies, and in science. It includes passages in the fields of history, social studies, like economics and stuff like that, and science. You'll be asked questions that require you to draw on the reading, okay? Needed most to succeed in those subjects. So a lot of it is reading tables and reading experiments. So it's referring to different graphics and understanding the content as well. For instance, you might read about an experiment, like I said, then see questions that ask you to examine hypotheses, interpret data, consider implications of the experiment. Answers are based only on the content stated in or implied by the passage, so you don't have to have a diverse knowledge of science. The passage is going to give you that information. It's really, can you pick out information from a passage and decipher it in order to answer the questions fully? And then also, can you read graphs? Can you understand experiments and really the way that they're set up? So here's an example. And this is one I think you guys are looking at today. It's a science passage. It includes a graphic orientation of hatching loggerheads tested in magnetic fields. So the question is, the passage most strongly suggests that Adelita used which of the following to navigate her 9,000-mile journey? So you have to refer to the passage. You don't have to know this information. It's not prior knowledge. You have to refer to the passage to then answer the question. And then here's another one, textual evidence question. Which choice provides the best evidence for the answer to the previous question? So you have to correctly answer the question before that in order to then find textual evidence that supports that answer. Okay, and the entirety of the reading section of the SAT, not the entire part, but a lot of it is based on textual evidence. So if you don't know how to draw evidence from a text to support an answer, a hypothesis, an inference, then that's something that you're definitely going to want to practice, because it's very, very important that you can understand, so you can comprehend a text and then pick out evidence to support your comprehension, a theme, a main idea, a hypothesis, depending on the section. And then here's another example of a science passage, and this is words in context, because this is the way that vocabulary is tested in the SAT. So the question, as used in line 2, so you have to reference the text, tracked most nearly means what? And all of these answers essentially could be correct, but you actually have to look back at the text, line 2, decipher how that word fits into the context of the sentence. So using context clues. And I know that this is something that you've done since 9th grade, because I teach it now to my 9th graders. I know in 10th grade you learn it, and in 11th grade you learn it. So using context clues is something that you're expected to understand how to do. So what I want you to do is I want you to practice. This is a practice test. I'll put this link in the email, so it'll be linked for you. when it opens up, I like this option. This is different from last week's because this practice test gives you, it's a clickable text test. And if you click an answer and then check it, it'll tell you if you got it wrong or right and why. You either got it wrong or right. You're going to be doing questions 9 through 14. Please make sure that you time yourself. It's really important that you get used to taking a time test. Since there are about 5 questions, I want you to give yourself 5 minutes because generally in the reading portion, you tend to get about 1 to 1.2 minutes per question. I guess per passage, if that's what you want to call it. Be sure to record your answers. It's really important that you check to see how many you got right / wrong in 9 through 14. So you can stop after you have answered question 14. There is not an exit ticket today. All I want you to do is just be practicing, take some time if you haven't gotten caught up in USA Test Prep that you do that. And remember, this is where you need to be. Yesterday you should have done the performance task. It's right here, circled right there. If you're not to that point, make sure that maybe you're doubling up lessons. They don't take very long, probably about 10 to 20 minutes each. So doubling up shouldn't be too difficult. But if you have any questions, please make sure that you ask me. I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. We're going to pick up having live sessions probably after next week, after all interims have been taken in your core courses. Then we'll pick up our live sessions for SAT prep. Have a great week. Talk to you later.